Remember this, as your false dawns of progress falter. My voice will never be silenced. My words remain as earth and air. My stratified tongue, the outcrop of your examinations. Water song, raised from wise mountains way beyond, across slouch and skim, firstlings of tone, reed notes and in the beach-rooted nook, the voice of herself like an encouraging hand placed on your shoulder, or the restless turn of long-travelled pebbles yet to find settled peace below the river's altar. Was music once proof she was our mother? I'll take that as my prayer to pool around myself, the assured blanket of her wise woven existence. So let the ear decide, like the shepherd at the Fank gate, in mizzled light, counting the herds of doubters stumble uncertain into their lyrical future. She will wait. Scripted assumptions, then pure spring melt. Along fertile strath and across its floodplains, unearthing the myth of forgotten fingerprints. Planning first field walks, the tentative prods of inquisitive minds bringing Adair and Roy into bright sun, new truths overlaying their lines. Under the fidgeting feet of eager detectives, evidence. Layers of aged clay and a toil run of bloodlines scribbled into notebooks of fresh discovery. In the harvest of poverty, the peat of gold with all its imposition on the common, scraps of fuel to keep them alive, but never paid more than that. The kayak pulls her shawl closer, urging open minds to sit, learn of hardships, weave their own story into yours, to question why the division of land became the yoke of generations. Sit and listen. Lock her words into your mouth, and in themselves become kayak, to hold wise, earth-hearted offerings of new light. Shaped disruptions. The mountains, constant in the brace of storms. The glens, reliable in the delivery of what we ask of them, although we always expect more, act surprised when the levels of deliverance are beyond our control. Yet, the flow taps are in our hands, in our disordered lives. And the detectives cored deep, sliced through silted years of flooded frustrations and misadventures, traced the oxbows, all the meandering clues of us. We had built, expanded, demanded the influence of water fit our naive plans of burgeoning expectations. Then the rains came. When the levels rose, we puzzled, watched Isla find the tiles of roofs, effortlessly breach the battlements of our fear graft, our crops drowning in the cold dilution of global warmth. Insufficient evidence to convict, the kayak leans on the edge of the pack bridge, laughs over the rumble of chaotic torrents, offers up the chance to find truths. Pause and learn. Pour her words into your mouth, and in themselves become kayak, to reconnect wise, water-bled offerings in the purge. Enforced progressions. The loom in the home was hard work, but it was the family's. the workings enough to keep the home from falling into aching ruin. Progress took it away. Graft in the mill for the ages. Halflings, hecklers and weavers, spinning a coin for the blinkered rich. Hard days of honest lives choked in the dust. Progress built the mills. The Ericht lurched, churned over its old red bones to drive the profits of distant rivals. Slaves of steam-driven progress bore the weight of the world, whilst the Kayach sat under Rowan by the Keith, counting salmon down to silver ghosts, watched the mills build ladders of progress, concrete distractions to nature's destruction. And they declared this progress too, until the profit machine stopped. The world had moved on to another place. The buildings emptied and the people were left with nothing but flax crumble to fill their emptied bellies. Never forget. The distant past is only yesterday. The stone carcasses bear witness yet, scarring the river in memoriam. Progress and spin. Weave her words onto your tongue, and in themselves become Kayach, to transform your consciousness. Flax-spun forgiveness in the flow. Deep time temptations. And the Kayach walked the arid run of long-lost moss to the island of the Kirk, to sit among the deed stains of her ancestors, whom she knew, whom she'd countenanced on their odd dredging follies. Neither a pound of flesh nor less than the weight of our collective transgressions. The treasure of forefathers turning gold into poison for the sons. The blinkered actions of generations scratching at the surface of our earth, oblivious to the future, grafting in the present, merely trying to survive one day at a time. To navigate the troubled path between misery and redemption to Kirkstall, passage of scripture, ill-afforded coffin to rest weary bones until the sun finds enough warmth to keep the bairns alive, with a flicker of hope beyond the chains of servitude. We should capture her tears into fonts of knowledge, the nectar broth of wisdom, to sign a bond which accepts our shared responsibilities, earth contracts with a value beyond our worth. Dig and dredge. Spread her words onto your earth, and in themselves become Kayach to understand your connections. Soil senses, learnings in the plough, new life found in the furrow. Naive minds claw at the weave, but their futile sweat shards drip into the dark recesses of previous failures to tame the wild constants of all that is not theirs to shackle. What is it you try to achieve? You are forever in the fidget of transient glory, grafting endlessly at your next vanity of self-indulgence, only for it to crumble into another layer of dust, then swept up by the Kayach's mocking laughter echoing in high corries, under stone arches, on water song to drift away, sea-bound, inevitably emptied of its soul. Where forefathers bent to the landlord's silver, not for profit or the progress of noble deliberations, yet only to shelter the bairns and fill their bellies with love. The shovel, the pickaxe held out towards the lens in peat-lock stance, where the line-up of honest graft, under the weight of weary eyes, prays for better days, and by candlelight owns the pain of grace by labour. We walk the paths they built, the land they shaped. We stand in doorways with them, unseen yet still there. Memories embedded in the mulch of our surroundings, fluid in their seep, the unravel of sinew and blood, coin and crown, weft and plough, statues in tackety boots or white linen aprons smeared with ancestral sweat and tears, with our fixed perceptions waiting to be unstitched, to learn to read again, to understand the codes of our lands, so that our mind's eye can teach itself and focus our bairns' futures into sharper visions, and our history folds familiar through our learnings into tomorrow. The time is now. To lock her words into your mouth, in actions too, so when the terraforms of greedy inquisition simmer, become kayak, hold wise, earth-hearted, shine light, the passing on. Let the bairns find nourishment in the anchoring of words. Only in knowledge of what has been lived through can the influence of commonwealth be shared equally and the wisdom of our earth be cherished.